Okay. All right, guys. We're so excited. I am so excited. I've been talking to Julia about asking her to be on our Zoom for a couple of months. And I just have to tell you, like, I've gotten to know Julia a little bit more in the past year. And she is like one of the coolest people ever. If you don't follow her, you should follow her. She is just an amazing friend, mom, creative. She loves people, and that's what this business is all about, is loving people. And I think that's probably the number one reason that she is so successful, is because she's always loved people and she loves well. And so I have enjoyed getting to know you more this year, and it's just fun. She has an amazing, amazing story. Her life has been completely changed because of Plexus. And so she's going to tell her story and give us some tips. So I'm just going to let you take it away.
Okay, thank you. I don't know how to respond to that. I would think it's crazy around here. I think that's why people like to watch us. But yes, I'm Julia Cartee. I am a diamond with Plexus, and I live in Mobile, Alabama, which is the coast, Gulf Coast. And it is super cold here for us today, as it is for, I think, everyone listening. But my Plexus journey started about probably, I guess, goodness, it seems 7 years ago yesterday. I moved to Dallas, Texas. So I guess that was the beginning, is because I moved to Texas. And my husband had been a youth and college pastor for about 10 years, 9-10 years. And we were moving out there, my sister, our family out there, and he was going to finish seminary. And the Lord just had different plans for us. We started going to First Baptist Dallas, where I met some people you might have heard of. Andrea Mitchell attends there, Ellen Ford, Amber Volbada, all three diamonds now in Plexus. But at the time, I had never heard the word Plexus. And I met Andrea in Sunday school, got to know her, and all of a sudden she started posting about Plexus. And at that time, I didn't really know what it was. I didn't really understand it, but I knew one thing: I wanted nothing to do with it. So I quickly learned how to unfollow friends. And I saw her 2-3 times a week. So I was like, why do I need to be a friend on Facebook? And not really mean, but I use Facebook to keep up with family back in Alabama and friends. So I quickly just kind of got this thing of, if you sold something on social media, I unfollowed you. So I say that to say, if someone has unfollowed you, still be their friend. And that's going to be one of my points today. Be their friend, love them, because you never know, they might be the next diamond on your team. You have no idea. So I unfollowed her. Before I knew it, every woman that I knew in the DFW area sold Plexus. And I am not exaggerating. I only really knew people from church. So I was really confused, because I was like, this is weight loss. Why are they doing this? And none of those girls were overweight. I felt like none of them really needed money. But Angie Zumwalt went to church with us, who's my immediate upline, and we kind of made fun of it for a while, and then she jumped on the train. I was like, oh goodness. But my two youngest, I have 5 children now, but at the time I had 4, had severe eczema. And Andrea gave me a bottle of the Probio 5 and the Bio Cleanse, and said, just try this. And I kind of just rolled my eyes. I was like, you're trying to stuff this stuff down my throat. I took it home. I tried it a couple of times with the kids. I put it in, I think I put it in their yogurt. I was like, you know what? This doesn't work. Again, if someone tells you that our products do not work, do not get mad and angry and be like, sometimes we get really defensive because we love Plexus. Love them. Just love them. I don't really remember her response, but I know she was still my friend, because guess what? That person that tells you the products don't work might be the next diamond on your team. And just like Beth said, this is a relationship business. And I will take the compliment. I do think that I have succeeded in this business because I do love people. That's just something that's very natural for me. But I also think if you look at most all our diamonds, or people who are successful in this business, they love people. So a few months passed, and actually my husband lost his job. And I'll tell you this, I always tell my team, you got to figure out what's going to turn that light bulb on in their head. Andrea and Angie, they saw health needs. They knew my kids had really bad skin. So they were trying to sell me on the products. But really at night, what kept me up was that we couldn't pay our bills, that we were struggling to make ends meet. And then all of a sudden my husband loses his job, and now I didn't know what we were going to do. And I remember specifically just praying in my living room in Dallas that, Lord, we've got to get out of this financial hole. I was so tired of struggling. And I didn't want to do it by someone giving us money. I wasn't praying for this, just free handout. I really was like, okay, we need a door to open. And I had no idea what that door was. But I went to breakfast with Andrea, and I think she had just hit Sapphire at the time. And I was like, how much money, or maybe Emerald, I'm not sure. I was like, how much money are you making with this pink drink stuff? And she told me, she was very bold. So be bold when people ask you, okay, seriously, give me the download Plexus. And at that time, she was making about $12,000 a month. And guys, I about fell off my chair. You remember my husband was a youth college pastor. We had never even made $40,000 a year. So $12,000 a month was insane to me. So in my mind, I just thought, okay, if you can make that much money, I can make $1,000 a month. And I started calling Angie, and I texted Ellen and Amber, some of the ones that I knew. I was like, are you making real money? Because I wanted to know, was it a pyramid? Was she making all the money and everybody else wasn't making money? But what I discovered was everybody was making good extra money, good extra income. So I called Jared. He had taken a job here in Alabama, and I jumped in with 2 feet. And, I'll encourage you to do that. If you're here for the business, and I'm one of those, I would say few, but I'm not sure. I'd love to know the percentage of that. I started Plexus for the business. Now, I had to know the products work. So my kids were my guinea pigs. I started giving them that probiotic and that body cream. I think I said biopens. I meant body cream. I gave them the probiotic and body cream. Their skin started clearing up, so I knew I could stand behind these products. I started calling all my friends back home. I was in the sorority, so I had a lot of college friends, and this was my sales pitch. I don't know if it's the best sales pitch, but I said, hey, I'm about to start posting about Plexus. Do not make fun of me. My family needs this. And, I was just trying to make sure my good friends knew not to make fun of me and talk about me by my background, because I thought people were crazy that were doing this. But a lot of them were like, okay, sign me up. Or they were like, okay, I'll try the product. Some of them became my customers. Some of them became my first wholesale ambassadors. A couple of them jumped into business. My very good friends, I was like, come do this with me. I tell people they have a sweet spot at the beginning to invite your friends to come do this with you and not for you. I think there's a big difference of that. So, and call your friends. I always say your friends and family should not find out that you're selling Plexus or that you're loving Plexus via social media. You should pick up the phone and just have a conversation. Don't make it weird and awkward. Be yourself and just say, hey, I'm loving these products. I love your support. No problem if you're already using something else. Just be casual. Love people. So that's where it started. We moved to Alabama 2 weeks later. So here I was in a brand new town. I didn't know anyone. I was homeschooling 4 children. We were still broke. I did bounce our checkbook for me to buy my welcome pack. I don't recommend that. But I knew it was turnkey. So I was like, hey, if I can get 3 people, that will be $75 next Friday to, replenish some of that money. So have a plan. But I came here, we lived out on the river, so I would drive to internet first couple of weeks that we lived here, first couple of weeks of business. No excuses. And no one told me this. No one had to say, hey, Julia, not having internet, that's an excuse. No, I just was like, hey, Jared, you're home from work. I'm going to go to McAllister's and use our free internet to send some emails and follow up with some people. And so I did that. And my favorite probably moment of all of Plexus, and I've had a lot of really great ones, is I went to the grocery store up here, and Publix is our grocery store. If you know Publix, you know how fabulous it is. And I got that email, and the email that you've been paid. And I was just hoping it was enough to cover our triplex, because I knew the kids needed the probiotic. I needed to drink the pink drink just so we could be products of the product. Because I knew that we had to love the products to really sell them. And guys, to the penny, it was enough to not only cover our triplex, but also our first month rent here in Alabama. And that was the moment I just knew that it was going to really just change our family's future. That was the moment I was like, okay, God, this is it. And sometimes I still go I go to Publix. Okay, I'm not gonna act like I really cook, but I go to the Publix at least once a week to get milk. And I mean, sometimes I still tear up, because that's the moment that I felt like our life changed. So fast forward about 9 months in, I was enrolled. I think average enrolled pay was about $10,000 a month. And Jared hated his job. He was doing a sales job now. He's out of the ministry full time. And I just looked at him and was like, why don't you just quit? We've never made this much money in our life. Just quit your job. I was kind of joking. But the next Monday, he didn't get dressed for work. And he was like, I quit my job. But since then, I guess it's been about 4 years, he's been a stay-at-home dad. And we did homeschool for the first couple of years. They're now in a great, Plexus allows us to send them to a great little Christian school here down the road. But I tell people, we love the products. And I could sit here all night, and Beth, you can tell me if you want me to go into like medical health testimonies. But and financially, I hit diamond. We've been able to buy a home. I know that seems little for a lot of people, but just a year ago this month, we were able to adopt our 5th child, and we were able to do that without raising a penny of support, which is huge. Nothing wrong with raising support. I love supporting my friends who adopt, but just to not even have to have, it was not a financial burden. We were able to just do it. And I tell people, now I make more in 1 month than I made an entire year teaching public school. So that, I think maybe I missed that. That was my thing. I thought I was going to have to go back to teaching. I did not want to leave my babies to do that. But on top of the financial blessings and the health testimonies, it's the time freedom that I love that Plexus has allowed our family. It's the freedom that I am about to go jump in the car and drive up to North Alabama. I don't do this a lot, really, because one of my perks of Plexus is I don't have to do many meetings. But I'm going up there to do a meeting for one of my sweet teammates trying to hit Emerald. But my husband, I don't have to worry about babysitting. He's here. He's going to take care of Reese, our son. He's able to coach my son's football team. He's able to, lead mission trips at our church. I say he's able to do ministry without getting paid, which is really nice. So just the time freedom has allowed our family. That's probably my favorite blessing of Plexus. So do you have any questions? I always have a training up my sleeve, but you might just want to ask me questions, Beth. So
sorry, I had to mute myself. Y'all, if y'all do have questions, put them in the chat and we'll do them. But I just like, Julia, your story, and I've heard it many, many times, but, I was just like writing things down, just that, you went from, and people think, oh my gosh, it's all this. Like, I remember when you used your shopping spree money to be able to go to Utah to get Reese, and you were there the entire month, and your whole family out there, and that wasn't a stress. And y'all, like, to me, like, that was one of the coolest things, because sometimes people, your shopping sprees, Julia's won like everything. She's won all the private islands, everything. She is amazing. But she used her shopping spree money to go get her sweet baby. And y'all, he's the cutest, sweetest little thing. And she's the best mom. They are like looking at them as a family is just precious. It really, really is. And to see that they were able to do that and make a difference in little Reese's life for the rest of his life, it's just been amazing to watch. But I mean, and just saying, you said like buying a home was something little, but that's not something little. That's something absolutely so huge. And I think sometimes we think, oh my gosh, I'm only making whatever, $500, but $500 is so huge because it's life-changing for so many people. It was life-changing for me. I know it was life-changing for you. And so I love like where you came from and like what you were doing with this amazing blessing. And it really is like, I can't reiterate how cool it is to see what you're doing with this opportunity. So yeah, do you want to give us some training, or what do you think?
I can't, like I said, I'm always ready. I was a teacher, so I always have an across stick.
Well, perfect.
I have something I would love for you to talk about. Love. Okay, so And first off, I loved hanging out with little Reese on our trip to Hawaii. He's the best snuggle bug. I just loved him. But let me just, so one of the fun things that I love to share about your story I heard it a long time ago about how your first runner wasn't until like what, your like 42nd?
Yeah, 43rd or 42nd. I need to write that down.
Ambassador. Yeah, okay. Because we have so many people that will get going, maybe they'll sign up 3 people and they're like, well, none of them want to work. So it didn't work. So I'm just going to quit, and I'm like, dude, you got to keep going. It's a numbers game, right? You never know who's going to join your team that's actually going to want to be a business builder with you. So I would love for you to touch on that a little bit.
Right. And I feel like I should pull it up so I have my numbers right. And I actually, Lindsay Russell, who she's talking about, is my level 1 diamond, one of my level 1 diamonds. And we're best friends from college. And we're actually doing Super Saturday this year together in California. So if any of you are in California, come see us. But yes, and that's probably actually one of the points of my acrostic was keep, persistence, because she's right. And I think there's two sides to this. With Plexus, one of the great things is everyone builds their team different. You don't have to have 200 level 1s to be a diamond. However, I tell people the wider, I personally believe, the better. So keep going. So yes, I recruited, I started in July, and Lindsay joined several months later, and she was my, I think, 42nd or 43rd recruit. And she was going to be a wholesale customer. She had just had a baby. She was nursing. She wasn't even on my radar. I mean, I loved her. I wanted to do this business with her. But I'll tell you, I put her on my team page. And guys, always, and I don't want to train y'all's team different, but for me, we put everyone on our team pages because that's where they can catch the vision. And one day she messaged me, it was like in the middle of the night, and I got the next morning, and she said, hey, I just made my first post. And I was like, what? And I was like, I didn't think you were going to work the business. And she's like, well, I was up nursing last night and I was scrolling through your team page and I'm thinking, I can do this. I can make some extra money. And guys, she was my first diamond. I didn't even know she wanted to work the business. My 42nd recruit. My second diamond was like my 70 something, Rebecca Williams. Now she's totally different story. She met me at Chick-fil-A in Birmingham and it's like, okay, I want to make $50,000. How can I make $50,000? She wanted to redo her kitchen, y'all. 2 totally different stories. Honestly, she had money. She just wanted to redo her kitchen. My second diamond. And she's one of those that really didn't recruit the world. She just found some runners, right there at the beginning. So you really can work this business either way. You never know what your story is going to look like. But the point is, keep recruiting. Power of 3. And I think that's what it kind of goes with is I watched Sheila Medina. I think it was her talk at convention one year before I even joined on the Power of 3. And it changed my business. Because when I thought gold, I was like, I don't know 20 people, but 3 people. And I still, 5 years later, I try to go silver every month. That's my goal. 3 new ambassadors every single month. And eventually, one of those are going to catch the vision. And just to kind of go into that, you can't motivate people. One of the number 1 questions I get is, how do I motivate my team? How do I motivate my team? I read somewhere that you can't motivate people. You can only inspire them. And so I would ask, what are you doing to inspire your team to want to work this business? For me, for L. Rob, we call her L. Rob, it was the team page. It inspired her. She saw things on our team page. Maybe you have a team thread. Maybe you don't have a page. But are you sharing things to inspire your people to work and to want this business? And to me, we do that mainly through stories. So.
For sure. I agree. And that's what I talk about it all the time. Don't put those wholesale ambassadors on our team page. They sign up, put them on the page, announce them. Seriously, I signed a wholesale the other day and all these people welcomed her and she was like, thank you so much for the warm welcome. And y'all, making a difference, loving people is what is going to get people to do this business, get people to stay here for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So tell me your acrostic that you were going to tell. I got to know it.
Okay. Well, if I had it was on my computer, I could share my screen, but I can't. So it's pumpkin. So I did this the other day for a little team, not that y'all are little, but for a team I did a little training for. And I was like, okay, so it's traits of an effective Plexus leader. And I won't go in full detail of all of them, but I'll at least let you know the points and give you a little bit. So if you're taking notes, write down pumpkin. We're like in kindergarten class right now. I don't know how to even switch my camera. I can give it to you right there. See, I have a cute. I'll send it to you and you can share it with them. But P, now the first P is to be present. And again, this goes along with that loving people. But you cannot go MIA. And guys, I have learned in all these points, I have done the wrong things. You learn from your mistakes. So number one, be present. I used to have a rule. I feel like before you're probably Ruby, senior Ruby, you need to have this rule. Do not go to bed without messages answered. Now, give Beth and Alicia some grace. Some of us have too many messages. We would never, ever go to sleep. However, at the beginning, answer those messages. I never let a prospect or a brand new level 1 message me and me not respond within 24 hours. Just be present. Be present on your team page. Be present on your uplines team page. Be present on social media. People want to see you active. That is probably that's the first thing. Present. You is understanding. Be understanding. And all this means is, I've already kind of gone over this. Love people where they're at. If they just want to buy the probiotic, you make sure they fall in love with that probiotic and they know how to take it. Don't pressure them. If they tell you the products don't work, don't not talk to them the next time you see them. Love them, because again, they might be the next diamond on your team. Love people where they're at. If they just want to get their products paid for, but you know they have the network to be a diamond, help them get their products paid for. Now, and try to inspire them, but don't. You cannot set goals for people. It has to be their goals. So love them where they're at. Don't drag them. You can gently push, but don't drag. So I could get a whole training on loving people where they're at, the do's and don'ts. Machine. This is funny to me because a lot of people will say, I've gathered this in different sects, like places I know people, they'll be like, you're such a machine. I'm not a machine. However, I know what it takes, and I'm a list maker. I love action steps. Plexus, we say, it can be hard, but it's always simple. Keep it simple. Post. If you don't know what to do and you wake up, you post, you share, you message people, and you add new ambassadors. That's the only way to be successful in this business. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do those three things, but you have to consistently share on social media. You have to consistently message, share, call, have lunch with. You got to share places, and then you've got to add new customers and ambassadors. If you're not doing that, your team is not going to grow. And today I actually did a post on my team page about 3 things: share, train, cultivate, which is kind of the same thing. You keep sharing, you keep training your team, you keep cultivating new relationships. Just work it like a machine. Those 3 things. The next P is persistent, and we've already talked about that. That's kind of my LROP story. I was going to share that. You know, my first diamond was my 42nd, 43rd recruit. You've got to be persistent. Just keep going and doing those same things that we know that will work. And if you're sending messages and not getting lots of responses, send them to Beth. Sorry, I'm throwing you in here. Send them to your immediate upline and say, hey, will you look at these messages? I do that a lot with my team. I'm like, don't keep sending messages and never get response. Maybe we need to tweak some wording. Maybe you sound too salesy. Guys, my first messages were horrible. So, but someone helped me, figure out how to do them in a less salesy way. K is keep it going. And this is basically on duplication. Yes, mine were pages of info too, Beth, pages. But keep it going. This is duplication. We know I have people on my team. I always say I have really great recruiters that can recruit 10 new people a month. Seriously. But guess what? They're still gold because they cannot duplicate. They cannot keep it going. Then, I have people who only recruit maybe 1 new ambassador every couple of months. But guess what? They can get their people silver. They can, if I knew the key, I'd be triple diamond, guys. So I can't tell you what, but I'll tell you, I'd rather have that person that can only recruit 1 a month, but can get them silver than the person that can recruit 10 and they just flatline on me. And I say that. So figure out, when duplication, it's hard for me to train a different team because I don't know y'all's onboarding processes, but I will say have a process, have action steps. No, I have a spreadsheet, graphic that I share with my team, and I can share it with y'all, of what we do with a new ambassador, and make sure you do that with every single person. Oh, sorry, you disappeared. Beth, I'm sure y'all probably have something like that, a system that you duplicate down. And honestly, my success was I just did what my upline said. Whatever Angie, Ellen, Andrea said, I just did it. So trust your upline's systems and do it. It's inspiring. We've talked about that. You can't motivate, you can only inspire. But a lot of inspiring is knowing your why. And we talked about that. Remember, my why at the beginning was to make $1,000 a month. My why this year is I want Reese to have another buddy. And I know how much money the adoption costs. Know your why, inspire, and share your why. Your why, even if it's just to take your kids. Y'all, when I began, I used to not be able to take the kids to toddler time at Chick-fil-A because I couldn't afford it. Y'all, that speaks to a lot more people than your why maybe to take them, on a Mediterranean cruise, something fancy. Nothing wrong with fancy and big dreams, but just inspire people, let people know your why, and bring them along with the journey. And then know their why. And then I bet y'all can probably guess this one, is no excuses. You've got to throw the excuses away. Not having a large network, guys, we live in a day of, you can meet people on social media, you meet people at the ball field, you meet people at the grocery store. It's really your mindset of saying, you know what, I'm going to go out there. I have one of my diamonds that went to college, she was a sorority sister mom. She didn't have a Facebook account when she started Plexus. Lindsay Bryant, followed her. Her life is fabulous. She had to start a Facebook account just to do this business. And, well, I don't even know when she started, but I know less than 5 years ago, she's hit diamond. So no excuses about network time. I promise you, homeschooling, little ones, I've done it all. You find time for what you want. So that was about a really fast nutshell of an acrostic, Beth. So
I love it. It's so good. Like, seriously, we need to have, we need just send us your acrostics when you have them. But we really would like to see, if you don't mind sending me that so I can post that. And then we would like to see, how y'all on board or whatever, how y'all start people, because it's always good to hear and see different things or whatever, Yeah. But I mean, y'all, the things that she's telling us, seriously, it's the truth. And she, listen to her, because she is uber successful. And I'm telling you, her, how she loves people, you can see in everything that she does. And that, truly, it's so relational, and not just getting ambassadors, but keeping ambassadors and keeping your team going. Being relational and loving them is so important too, right? And so I think that is absolutely huge. So are most of your ambassadors close to where you live now, or are they all over the place? Oh, you're muted. Hang on. Are you muted?
Okay, now I'm not. I don't know why I was muted. Actually, no, because, I didn't know anyone here in Mobile. And I'll say that's probably been one of my hardest things, is really building a team here in Mobile. I've had a few people want to work it. I have a new ambassador here, really excited. And, I'm always this is such a wide open market here. But most my ambassadors are at least 3 or 4 hours away. So I've done a lot of Zoom calls. We have built a lot on, and honestly, at the beginning, I traveled a lot. Because I will say, if you have a new ambassador, it was important for me to get there and have a launch party and stuff for them. I do less of that now because of the baby, but like I said, I'm about to hit the road tonight and do a thing tonight. So
yeah, I think, and I say that too. I think especially when you are new and bringing people in, and for new people, that's one of my biggest thing is doing some kind of whatever, sip and see, if it's in the middle of your living room, whatever that looks like, if it's coffee, whatever, doing that with people, because getting in front of people is, I do think, hugely important, whether it be a Zoom. I mean, you can totally do this on a Zoom for sure. So I do think that's super important. So, okay. So let me ask you one question, and then I'm gonna let you go, because I know that you need to leave, but say you have ambassadors that are going to come to you and ask this question. Like I've been in for, 3-4 years and I've never just taken off, or, whatever, I feel stuck. What would you recommend for them to say, maybe start over their business or just start their business 3 or 4 years in? Do you have recommendations for that? Because I know a lot of people think, and I feel like right now is an amazing time for people to restart, relaunch. If they feel like they've never been able to do this, now's the time, because we have all these new products, all these new incentives, the perks. I know my opinion on it, but I want to hear your opinion because I like to hear different people's.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our teams are in the same season. So right now I'm working, I think there's two types of people. I'm working with a lot of women who maybe hit gold, senior gold, even Ruby, who kind of just fell, decided not to do it. And now they're like, okay, I think I want to come back. And for those women, I'm like, you can definitely come back. But I think being genuine with your friends and your audience. So I actually have a 3-step. Y'all know I love graphics. So number one, you need to make a post. And it's almost like when you made your first Plexus post. Hey, I'm back. And maybe your story is, I've been loving the products for 2 or 3 years, but I let the business side. But I see what a great opportunity this business is, and I cannot let it go any longer. Like just in your own words. So you make a really great post with a personal picture of just announcing, like, hey, come do this with me. And again, you get that sweet spot again. Hey, I'm jumping back in. Who wants to jump back in with me? And invite your friends. We have all these great sample packs and stuff too. And then the second thing is, if you do have people in your back office, I think you need a personal, again, they don't need to see on Facebook. Send them a message, send them a voice message, call them if you can. Hey, I know I haven't been working business past couple years, but I'm so excited to jump back in. It's such a great opportunity. I hope whatever your want, I want to make $1,000 a month. Would you be interested in joining me? Again, invite them to come with you. And then the third thing is, so you post, you private message, and then of course, then you get your ducks in a row, and we know what that looks like. Leads you didn't know you had, but you might not know about some of these resources, and you just start over like a brand new ambassador. And what we love, I'm still a lover of 5-3-1. Reach out to 5 new people, follow up with 3, and train 1 every single day. Now, there's maybe that person who just never started the business. And again, like you said, there's no better time than now. We have never had such great products. We've never had such great training. And keep it simple then. The same thing. Make a public, really great Facebook post, then be committed to post consistently. Let's look at your friends that you need to call. And I'm going to hold them accountable to pick up the phone and call. Invite your friends to do it with you. And then again, fill out that lead you didn't know you had. I think somebody has a hot 20 list that we use. I know it wasn't my idea, but I like the hot 20 list of who you're going to really engage with on social media. But really, that's my advice. My advice is just get to work. Action creates momentum, and with no action, you can't expect for your team to start, succeeding.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you do, we preach a lot of time. You have to post on Facebook consistently. Alicia talks about all the time, if you're not, your business is closed. If you're posting consistently, your business is open. If you're not, your business is closed and people are watching. But I also love that you talk about so much about picking up the phone and calling people. And guys, right now, it's a huge time with these perks. Like I literally have sent message after message, voice message, calling people to make sure they understand it. Like if you have a level 1 and they don't know about perks, you need to pick up the phone and call them. They are your friend. You know them. They are your level 1. Pick up the phone and call them. They love you. They wouldn't trust you if they didn't love you. They're ambassadors. Also, going through and seeing who's on that, PV of 90 to 99 that you could push over with perks. Pick up the phone and call them and explain it. Don't text them. Communication is so big, and you're missing the boat if you're not doing it right now, for sure. So anyways, okay, does anybody else have any other questions for Julia before she goes? Anyone? Okay. I can't tell if anybody's typing or not, but Thank you so much. You are seriously, really are like absolutely amazing. And honestly, like just are a role model to so many people. And I hope that you know that. And I know that sometimes it's hard to listen to people like tell you these things, but you really are a true, genuine person who loves people. And I know that is, you love Jesus and it shows through you. And so thank you for spending time with us this morning. We really appreciate it. Yeah, have a good trip. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Celia. Bye.
Y'all don't hang up. We're going to do announcements and stuff. Ugh, can't talk. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I'm going to, I think I'm going to stop recording now.